In 1998, Yamaha released its incredible R1. It was brutal, it was angry, but it was pretty elementary. Horsepower hounds lined up at Yamaha dealers across this wide brown land, clamouring to get their hands on the latest and greatest. Well, what you're looking at here is the 2020 Yamaha YZF-R1. It's still brutal, it's still angry, but it's highly sophisticated. So let's see if this thing can engender the same sort of passion that that magnificent 1998 example engendered in the Australian buying public.
This is the future. Evolution.
It hides. It lurks. Black. Sinister. I swear its headlights follow you around the garage. It's a mood on wheels, this 9th generation YZF-R1. The bodywork is tweaked from the previous model, and Yamaha claims a 5.3% aerodynamic improvement when a rider is under the paint. Who cares? The thing looks grouse. After that, I don't care. Okay, all that makes this bike sound like it's in a class of its own. In fact, it sits in the middle of a class that carries the hero status of Japanese motorcycling. Truth is, modern mainstream leader sports bikes are a poofteenth different from one another. Okay, you'll get a few add-ons, a doodad, a special colour scheme, a MotoGP signature, but they're pretty similar. And they all do what they say on the tin. They are all in the business of thrilling you to the bone and make zero compromises to comfort along the way. Well, the R1 can claim a bit of a difference. That cross-plane note adds a degree of individuality about the R1. It's wild and refined, fast and competent. A growling masterpiece of a donk. Simple as that. Ergos and comfort? Indeed, the R1 is like visiting a lover you're not sure is good for you, but the ride keeps you coming back. Yeah, you're going to end up a bit sore, but hey, it was worth it. Now let's get to some of the nuts and bolts here. Helping get that supermotor's output to the bitumen are 4 power modes, with mode 1 being the most aggressive. Mode 2 gives a smoother power delivery, and I tended to leave it in that configuration. Now all those netties, 197 of the buggers in the old money, need to be pulled up. And that's where it gets a little interesting on the new R1. You see, new for 2020 is refined ABS, Yamaha calls it brake control, or BC, and engine brake management, which Yamaha calls EBM. This delivers 7 independently adjustable electronic control rider aids. Say that with a mouthful of marbles. Yamaha's proprietary 6-axis inertial measurement unit, the IMU, continues to be the key feature of the package and processes real-time bike attitude and wheel speed, giving the option to choose between 2 intervention modes. Well, that's all well and good, but I reckon the R1 brakes are just okay, not brilliant. Fair bit of lever pressure is needed, and there's a tendency to a bit of late dive. I wasn't a massive fan there. With all the tuning of suspension and brake setup at your disposal, you'd get it how you want it, but I'd like it better out of the box, to be honest. Now, the R1 is the real deal. It tells no lies. You ride it in city traffic and have to resist the temptation to lean it against a parking meter and get on the bus. It's like sitting on a farm gate and touching your toes. Daily runabout? No fear. Get it into the twisties with dappled light coming through autumn wonder colour and you'll understand. That same thing that you thought you could set fire to on your way through the city becomes a thing of pure, uncut joy. The Great Ocean Road during a coronavirus scare. The temptation was too much. While everyone was busy taking their temperature, I set about raising mine. In short, I learnt what it must feel like to be shot out of a cannon. It's like entering another dimension, riding this thing with attitude. Hallucinogenic power that alters time. Seriously, nutso, go. It looks mad, it goes like a cut cat, and has all the electronic stuff to keep the geeks fiddling for days. Both Superman and Clark Kent are well catered for there. I loved it in fast going. There in its natural habitat, it's a brutal, sophisticated stallion. In town, it's a no-compromise, chiropractor's dream, bum buster. But if you want to be top dog at the mountain pass, and who doesn't, you won't give a toss about all that, and you'll be glad of the chance to park it in front of the cafe. You show off, you.
So, here we are with the 2020 R1 on one of the world's great roads. What a day. And the question was, can this technically sophisticated thing with 197 brake horsepower excite as much as that original 98 R1? It takes commitment to ride this bike. It is uncomfortable, but it makes all sorts of sense when you get up it. And when you get serious with it, this thing is a hot knife through butter. Tour around town, drive you crazy. Couldn't stand it. Got it out here and I just fell in love with it. It's a rocket, it's scary quick, and it is a real R1. If you like what you see, subscribe to Infomoto by clicking on the subscribe button.